Many students do literature, they take up literature at the graduation level when they haven't actually studied literature at the school level, say in classes 11 or 12. With some other students, what happens is that they don't have literature as a subject because they don't belong to the humanities. And so they do, let's say, BSc or BCom. And after that, they decide to do PG in English, which means that they have missed out on several fundamental things in literature. And so the idea in this video is to help such students get an understanding of some very, very basic things in literature. This is part of what we call prosody. And so we are going to look at some terms which are very, very basic to literature. And we will also be looking at what is called syllables and the way syllables make up a foot, and on the basis of how many feet there are in a line of poetry, we assign various names, such as, this is an example of monometer, dimeter, trimeter, tetrameter, pentameter, hexameter. And so let us look at how these are formed. We are not looking at meter. We are not going to study, let's say the names of the meters. We are not doing all that. We are only looking at how syllables combine into what we call the foot. So we are doing a very, very basic kind of exercise here, and it will be very helpful if you can sit with a notepad and a pen so that I can explain these things to you systematically, and you can take it down in order to understand this better. Now, in English, a word can be divided into parts for matters of pronunciation, and we call these parts syllables. So if you look at a word like wonderful, you will say wonderful. So this word has 3 syllables to it. If you say today, this word has 2 syllables to it. If you say preposition or proposition, you have preposition, 4 syllables. And so this count goes on. How do we define a syllable? What is a syllable in English? Suppose the word kettle in English, Kettle. That is the spelling that you know of the word kettle. Suppose it had been spelled Kettl. Would it have made a difference in the sound, in the pronunciation? No, you'd have still called it kettle. Kettle, kettle, too. But fortunately or unfortunately, there is a rule in English according to which a syllable is a syllable only if it contains at least one vowel, even if it is a silent one. A vowel has to be present in it. Then you can call it a syllable. Now let us go back to that word kettle. Kettl. So you are saying kettle. K is a syllable because it contains the vowel E. But what about till? It contains only TTL. So now TTL would not be able to qualify as a syllable for the reason that there is no vowel in it. Even if there is a silent vowel, it doesn't matter, but a vowel is absolutely necessary. So Ketttle. E is silent, but the vowel is present. Now till can be called a syllable. So also bottle, little, settle. So the silent E, because it is a vowel and it is present, so that part of the word can now be called a syllable. Now, in English, when you look at a word and you divide it into parts, which we will call syllables, how do you do it? Let's go back to kettle and wonderful. So you were able to say ke. Now what is ke? Ke is giving you some sound, some vowel sound. Some vowel sound. Ke. You can leave the K out. You can hear a. And when you say till, you need not be concerned with the t and the l sound, but still there is a tiny vowel sound in it, till. There is a vowel, tiny vowel sound in it. And so that qualifies as a syllable, and of course it has a silent E in it. So a word like kettle has two syllables, kettle. And what allows you to break that word up into syllables? There is a consonant and an attached vowel sound. A consonant and an attached vowel sound, or only a vowel sound. When you say easy, the question paper was easy. Now easy, Z. E does not have a consonant sound. It doesn't matter. But it has a clear vowel sound. E. Z. So now Z and a vowel sound attached to it. So now you have E, Z. Look at wonderful. So you have one, and in that one, the W and the N sounds are not important. What is important is that vowel sound that you are hearing in one, one. D is not important, R is not important, but there is an sound, vowel sound. One has a vowel sound, D has a vowel sound, full. Again, there is a very short vowel sound in it. Wonderful. So now you have 3 syllables. Let's look at prepositions. So you say pre. When you say pre, you have that S sound. And then you say per. And you have that sound, pre, per. Z. So that S sound which is coming out as Z is not important. E is there. Shun. Sh is not important. N is not important. There is a slight, very tiny vowel sound. So you have 4 vowel sounds here. Initially, if you make mistakes, suppose you say, no, I'm not able to divide it this way, preposition, I'm making it as prep. Okay, you make it as prep. Even if it goes wrong, doesn't matter. Prep, because you can't make a Z. There are 2 sounds, 2 vowel sounds, and E. So they will become 2 syllables then. So pre, per, or if you make a mistake, it's going to be prep, Z, shun. Ultimately, you will have those 4 syllables. Now, 2 syllables make up a foot. In a line of poetry, you will look for 2 syllables and you will say that you have got a foot. So, 2 syllables and you will draw a line, from top to bottom. Even if it is in the middle of a word, it doesn't matter. You will have to draw that line after the second syllable to show that these 2 syllables form a foot. Now, the third and the fourth syllable, again they will form a foot. Again you will draw a line. Then the fifth and the sixth syllable, and it will go on. Now, let us look at some lines. So you take this down in your notepad. This is just something that I'm telling you. This is not a part of a poem or anything, but you just write down to get an understanding of syllables. In the first line, you write today. In the second line, you write she came. In the third line, you write to see. In the fourth line, you write me here. In the fifth line, you write in the. And in the sixth line, you write evening. Now let's look at these 6 lines. Imagine that this is a poem. So in the first line, you have today, a. You can clearly hear 2 vowel sounds, today, a. So now there are 2 syllables here, is equal to 1 foot. When a line of poetry has 1 foot, it automatically has 2 syllables. And this would be an example of monometer. So the first line is today. The second line again, she came. She, there's only one vowel sound, E. Came, you leave out the k sound and the m sound, you come to a. She came, 2 syllables, again monometer. Third line to see, again 2 syllables. Fourth line me, here, again 2 syllables. Fifth line in, the, and last line evening. One word divided into 2, but there are 2 syllables. Evening, E-ing. So now these 6 lines are examples of monometer because each line has 2 syllables. 2 syllables is equal to 1 foot, and a line of poetry which has 1 foot automatically means it has 2 syllables, and it's an example of monometer. Now let's rewrite these lines. And in the first line you write, today she came. In the next line you write, to see me here. And in the third line you write, in the evening. Now what happens? Now this poem, we've got 3 lines. Today she came. Next line, to see me here. And third line, in the evening. So now today, 2 syllables. After today, you draw a line from top to bottom. Above this line, you begin from that point and you come down. Today, then you draw this line. Then she came. Now you have got that line in between showing that there are 2 feet. Today, she came. Next line. To see, again draw a line, me here. And in the third line, in the evening. So now we have a line of poetry with 2 feet, meaning there are 4 syllables. 2 feet and 4 syllables. Second line, again 2 feet and 4 syllables. First line was today she came. Next line was to see me here. To see me here, ear. And next line, in the evening. So this is an example of dimeter. Now let's look at the same lines in trimeter. So you have 2 lines. First line you write, today she came to see. Today she came to see. Next line, me here in the evening. So now what you're going to do is, today, draw a line. She came, draw a line. To see goes that side. You have a line of 3 feet and 6 syllables. And the next line, today she came to see. Next line, me here in the evening. Me here, draw a line. In the, draw a line. And you don't need to draw a line at the end because it's understood that there are 2 syllables that side. So now this is an example of 3 feet and 6 syllables. So monometer, 1 foot, 2 syllables. Dimeter, 2 feet, 4 syllables. Trimeter, 3 feet, 6 syllables. Tetrameter, 4 feet, 8 syllables. Pentameter, 5 feet 10 syllables. Hexameter, that which is used in epics, 6 feet 12 syllables. Now in the next part of this video, we will do tetrameter and pentameter, and I would like you to take out, you could open this poem, Two Daffodils by William Wordsworth. Again, Solitary Reaper by William Wordsworth. Both these you take out for tetrameter. And for pentameter, you can take out On His Blindness by John Milton. And you can also look at, Thomas Gray's Elegy Written in a Country Churchyard for pentameter. You'll find plenty of poems in tetrameter and pentameter in English, but I'll be doing these with you right now just to give you an example so you could take those poems out.